General Vikram Dogra. The name itself speaks a lot. Being an Ironman, as I'm correct, so 3 times.
Yes.
And apart from this, he received Ati Vishesh Seva Medal also from the Indian government. So, I have seen that you were posted in Jammu and Kashmir also, sir. So, what was your experience during that time? Because Jammu and Kashmir, हमारे लिए उस time में जब when you were posted, it was really a terrifying area.
Pakistan always felt, and if you remember, Bhutto made the statement that हम घास खा लेंगे, but we will avenge our defeat in 1971. Okay, we will bleed India by 1,000 cuts. They were good at fighting. They had weapons, and they were told, you go and kill so and so colonel, you'll get so much money. You kill a major, you'll get so much money. You kill a captain, you get so much money. They were doing it for money. There was no cause out there. Then I don't think there's any.
They have taken the responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there has been a lapse. Was the poster boy?
He was.
He also was shot. And then the guy who took over from him also got shot. And so there is a shelf life hai inka. But since I joined the army, there has only been Kargil.
Kargil.
Yeah.
So you were a part of Kargil?
Yeah, I was a part of Kargil.
So talking about the Uri attack which took place, वो बहुत हमारे लिए terrifying था कि ये इंडियन आर्मी के साथ ऐसा हो गया.
Indian army के साथ ही होता है. If you heard his speech, where he said it's a two-nation theory, Hindus and Muslims cannot live side by side.
Namaskar, welcome to another brand new episode of Ask Official. We have a very special guest on board today, General Vikram Dogra. The name itself speaks a lot. Being an Ironman, as I'm correct, so 3 times.
Yes.
And apart from this, he received Ati Vishesh Seva Medal also from the Indian government. So, proceeding ahead, sir, ये Ironman का concept कब आपके दिमाग में आया और क्यों? What was the reason behind that?
आयरनमैन जो आपके व्यूअर्स हैं अगर उनको नहीं मालूम तो एक ट्रायथलॉन होता है जिसमें आपको 3 डिसिप्लिन करने होते हैं बैक टू बैक. पहले स्विमिंग होती है 3.8 किलोमीटर्स.
Okay.
Then you have to cycle 180 kilometers.
180 kilometers.
180 kilometers. And then you have to run a full marathon of 42.2 kilometers.
And it's back to back?
All 3 are back to back and to be completed within 17 hours.
17 hours.
So it's called the most grueling one-day endurance event in the world.
Okay.
So if you do that in the time given, then you're an Ironman. So this came to me my mind sometime around when I was 57 years of age, and I was coming towards the end of my service in the army. I was browsing when I came across this event, and I found it very challenging, very intimidating because the distances are so, and I thought it's impossible for anybody to do it. And so that's when I first looked at it and decided that if I can do this, then I would be able to prove to myself that I'm still the same person I was when I joined the army. Yeah.
So if I ask, sir, like 57 years mein, when you decided to go for it, how many hurdles were there? What was the information that you had for this process, and how much time you took making yourself ready for it?
Hurdles though were many. The first hurdle was to convince myself that मैं कर पाऊंगा. Because when I shared it with people around me, my friends and other colleagues and all, they all discouraged me saying, don't even try it, you'll have a heart attack, you'll get injured, why do you want to do it, and so on and so forth. Right. So सबसे बड़ा hurdle था to convince myself that I can do it. Then came the second hurdle was to start training. Right. That was a lesser hurdle than the first one. Yeah. So training was a hurdle. The time available, I was working 10 hours a day, I was at work. So to find time to train was my next hurdle.
Okay.
Then the equipment which is available about this, the information that you have about the Ironman in those days. Today, now it's about 7 years later, there's much more available. Right. I did it in 2018, my first one. So there was hardly any information. There were hardly any people around in India who had done the Ironman. So trying to find what to do, how to do it, how to train, how to nourish yourself, how to hydrate yourself, what kind of equipment is required, what is the kind of training you should do, all that was a challenge. And then when you are looking at training, you have to spend long hours training because the distances are such. Okay. And I said 10 hours I'm at work. Balance may say I had to take out time for training. So if I took out time here, then there was somewhere else I had to stop giving time. So the family life was affected in terms of time being available. Social life was affected. So these kind of things are.
So me being a layman, what I can see, like जो हमारा perception होता है कि you being from the army background, you have an upper edge because you learn resilience, right? So वो हमें लगता है कहीं वो आपको upper edge मिलता है उस चीज का, being disciplined.
मैं समझता हूँ जो भी आज की तारीख में अपने करियर में सक्सेसफुल है ना, सब डिसिप्लिन होते हैं. बिना डिसिप्लिन के तो कोई भी सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो सकता, चाहे आप पेंटर हो, एक्टर हो, एंटरप्रेन्योर हो, जो मर्जी हो. सो दैट वे आई थिंक आर्मी डिसिप्लिन व्हिच यू टॉक ऑफ इज डिफरेंट
From
दिस डिसिप्लिन. नो, दिस डिसिप्लिन इज सेल्फ डिसिप्लिन.
True.
आपने सुबह 6 बजे उठना है तो आप उठोगे. अगर आपका कोई मिशन है, एंड अगर नहीं उठोगे तो आप सक्सेसफुल नहीं होगे. That is a different discipline. But resilience, when you say, or say mental strength, yes, the army, by virtue of our training, the kind of life we lead, the kind of environment we are in, वो automatically आपका mental strength बन जाता है. वो help करता है, no doubt.
So, but unlike बहुत सारे viewers को नहीं पता होगा कि army life, हम बस सिर्फ बात करते हैं, it is a very difficult life. What exactly you go through as a person?
I don't think it's a difficult life.
It's a difficult life.
That is where it's a mental perception.
Mental perception.
Okay, my father was in the army.
Okay.
So when I grew up, I saw him, and if I had found his life so difficult, I would have never joined.
True.
But I was inspired by him. I liked that kind of life. I was, he was my first teacher, my mentor. So I wanted to be like him. Therefore, I say army life is not difficult. It is how you adjust in it. If anything you're doing and you're not adjusting in that, then it's difficult for you.
Because what we see in pictures, there's hours of training that you go through. So all these things, अगर हम बात करें young generation की, जब वो देखते हैं तो उन्हें लगता है बड़ा difficult life है army life.
देखो, आप कहते हो hours of training. तो डॉक्टर बनने के लिए कितनी ट्रेनिंग चाहिए आपको?
True, hours
वो भी आवर्स डालते हैं. लॉयर वाले वो भी आवर्स डालते हैं. आप अपनी प्रोफेशन में भी आवर्स डालते हो. नहीं तो आप आवर्स नहीं डालोगे तो आपको रिजल्ट नहीं मिलेंगे. So these hours may be having a little more of physical and academic also. Okay. But what you're seeing in the movie obviously is made for a movie, and it is hyped up, and there's passion, and there's emotion, and there is all that is made for the audience to feel good about. Yeah. But having said that, yes, there's no doubt army training is difficult. It needs a certain mindset. If you have that mindset, then you won't find it difficult. If you don't have the mindset, then it's an uphill task. And like when I joined NDA, we were about 300 of us who joined. 40, about 20 odd people left because they found it too difficult to carry on. Later on, about 5-7 years ago, this number of 40 came. That 40 kids had left from NDA because they were not able to cope up with the training. So that's will always happen in places where there is a little bit of hard life. Yeah.
So how do you perceive, like आज की generation बहुत lethargic भी है और they preferred easy life. So what is your comment for them?
My comment is, if you saw last Friday, there was the 148th NDA course which passed out of which for the first time in history of India, 17 girls passed out from NDA.
17 girls.
17
That's
girls.
A good number.
Okay. And NDA is 148th course divided by half. Those are number of years. That is 74 years of NDA. And now girls have passed out. So you can decide for yourself, if the training was so tough, how would young girls out of school go and train? So training is tough, but they acclimatized. And they came up and they met the requirement and they passed out now, just 3 days back. So that's how I feel that if somebody is committed, somebody is focused, determined, then hard work is there and you achieve. Some hard work you do, others make you do the rest of it.
So, I have seen that you were posted in Jammu and Kashmir also, sir. So, what was your experience during that time? Because Jammu and Kashmir, हमारे लिए उस time में जब when you were posted, it was really a terrifying area.
I was posted to Jammu and Kashmir twice.
Twice.
First time when I joined the army in 1981. Okay, Jammu and Kashmir was a nice, peaceful place.
It was a peaceful 81?
Yes. 81 it was peaceful. I went skiing, water skiing on the Dal Lake.
Okay.
Normal tourism, everything. It was sometime around the late 80s that terrorism and insurgency started in Jammu and Kashmir.
Can we say that it was our lack also at some point?
Or what?
And there was a lack from our end?
I don't think it was a lapse. What happened is when Pakistan and India were formed, Pakistan always felt that Kashmir should be with them. Okay, and that is how, as soon as independence took place, they sent their soldiers dressed as civilians in 1948 to come and take over Kashmir. That time, Kashmir was J&K was an independent state under the Dogra ruler, and when he saw this invasion happening, he spoke to the Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and said, "Help me." And he was told that if you join India, we'll help you. So he signed the Treaty of Accession, came to India, Indian troops went, they halted the Pakistanis wherever they were, and wherever they were halted, that became the line of control. And that is the disputed area, which we say is Pak-occupied Kashmir, and they call it Azad Kashmir.
Azad
Okay.
Kashmir.
Now, Pakistan always felt, and if you remember, Bhutto made the statement that hum ghas kha lenge, but we will avenge our defeat in 1971. Okay, we will bleed India by 1,000 cuts.
That's true.
And words to that effect. How were the 1,000 cuts to come? The cheapest option was to use terrorism.
Terrorism.
And when the Soviets left Afghanistan, and there were now these surplus Afghan, mujahids and others who had now no work, Pakistan channelized them to Kashmir. And that is how terrorism in the late 80s started building up in Kashmir. So, whilst India was always watchful and careful, but this was something coming from outside. Now, there is a degree of resistance that you can give, and which Indians gave, but the numbers coming in were so much because they were mercenaries. They were good at fighting, they had weapons, and they were told, you go and kill so-and-so colonel, you'll get so much money, you kill a major, you'll get so much money, you kill a captain, you'll get so much money. They were doing it for money. There was no cause out there.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they were doing it only for money?
Of course. Afghani will come and fight in India for what?
Exactly.
There is no religious cause. There is no country cause or, something to say, so I'm doing it for my motherland. They were mercenaries. You pay them money,
And
they
they-
come here, they get the glamour of whatever they were doing in the valley because they could walk into any house, pick up any girl they wanted, eat what they wanted, sleep where they wanted. So they were like, the kind of, you can say, rulers of that area by virtue of the might that they wielded with their guns. So that was an attraction, and the money that they got for carrying out all this stuff.
So how do you see जो part था sir when these things were happening? So government should have taken a certain action where army को मतलब like they should have taken up Kashmir emergency लगा देनी चाहिए थी, ऐसा कुछ कर देना चाहिए था जहाँ पे ये चीजें activities होती ही नहीं.
So army was pushed in, and there is the AFSA, which is the Special Armed Forces Special Protection Act, that when an army person, say, arrests a civilian and the civilian challenges it in court, the army man is immune to what action they've taken. Those powers are also given.
Okay.
But there is a limit to how much you can resist. And maybe somewhere after some time, the government felt that, okay, now we need to hold elections again. Because they have to also show that we are a democratic country and, look at the sentiments of the locals. So उन्होंने elections की, फिर election के बाद दोबारा ये प्रॉब्लम बढ़ जाती थी. इस प्रकार से ये चलता गया, एंड मे बी समवेयर द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट वाज वीक, or maybe somewhere they were also getting some mileage out of supporting terrorism. The linkages, whether it was in terms of money or it was corruption happening. Yes, Sara Kuch also has to be kept in view. So what you say is, yes, the ideal situation, but life is not ideal.
True.
Yeah. So where we are today is a result of all this nonsense which has happened over these years. And now, of course, as you know, recently 370 was abrogated.
Okay. True.
And after that, you'll find the stone pelting stopped. The incidents of terrorism reduced.
Reduced.
But now Pakistan was getting worried. that agar ye reduce ho gaya, if it becomes a smart city, G20 meet has been held out there, Grand Prix cars race around the Dal Lake, all that is happening. Markets are open till late at night.
They're getting money also.
Yeah, and so they are finding that Kashmir is slipping out of their hands. So how do they now make a statement? Yes. So they inserted more terrorists.
But what we as a layman believe, sir, if these are the places like they were tourist places, right? Pahalgam. So there would have been certain people, they should have installed army people out there wherein these kind of things wouldn't have taken place.
So you would have noticed that the government has admitted that there's been a lapse.
There.
So once the government admits it, then I don't think there's any...
they have taken the responsibility,
yeah.
Okay.
So there has been a lapse. Having said that, I'm just giving you the logic why this is happening. Lapse is from our side, but initiation is from the Paki side to get again
The
a
whole
grasp of Kashmir and to tell the world that no, it's not peaceful, it is not developed, there are things happening out
Do
there.
not come here.
And they are saying these are people who are fighting for freedom. They are not admitting that they were their people. They are saying these are local people who are fighting for their freedom.
So again, so coming to my question, अगर ये locals वहाँ के जो कश्मीर के locals हैं, I'm not saying every local is bad, right? But कुछ तो होंगे जो इस terrorism के part होंगे, they must be involved. That is why they escaped.
See, again, I'll come back to the point that in any place there are always the good, bad, and the ugly.
True.
And the ugly may be there for vested interest. Either they're getting money out of it, or maybe some may be genuinely believing that we need to help Pakistan. There could be those types also, and there could be a mix of all that. And some may be helping out of no choice, that if you don't help, we'll kill your family. वो वैसे भी होता है, out of threatening. So surely they have local support. उसके बिना तो ये हो ही नहीं सकता. But वो क्यों है? Is like I said, there could be many reasons.
So have you received any threats?
No.
Never in your service?
No.
Okay.
Why would I receive a threat?
Maybe we think
They don't threaten, no. They only threat people like Gaurav Arya, who's sitting on television and saying things. So they can't do anything to him, so they can only threaten him. But if I'm posted there and I am doing my work there, then they're not going to threaten me. They'll rather shoot me. So those attempts happen all the while.
So during your journey of being into the army, आपने कभी कोई ऐसी situation, grave situation face की है, wherein you are finding it difficult to take the decision कि क्या लेना चाहिए, what decision should I take?
Decision making is the most difficult thing in the world, in any field. Whether you're getting married, whether you're taking a job, whether even if you're going on a holiday. So decision making is not easy, and you can imagine if you have to take a decision in the face of a situation. So decision making, that's why, is something that you have to learn. So it's always a decision dilemma. Always.
कभी ये situation face करिए कि जो locals हैं, they can also be a part of being a terrorist. उनको look out करने में कितना problem होता है?
See, अभी क्या हो गया है? When I was there, I remember एक बंदा था वहाँ पे, रसूल, जिस कंपनी में मैं रह रहा था, वो रोज शाम को हमारे पास आता था. He was an ex-terrorist.
Okay.
He was a Kashmiri from India. He had got swayed. He had been taken across to Pakistan, trained, sent back. He was operating in Srinagar for a long time, and then he surrendered. Now he was helping the army.
Okay.
And when you have people like that, and there are many like that, वो हेल्प करते हैं आपको, वो बताते हैं आपको कि वहाँ पे आज ये होने वाला है, वो बंदा उनके साथ है, वो ये. So ये information आपको मिलती है. This is just one example, but there are many such sources. Local police जो होती है, वो उसी जगह की होती है, वो जानते हैं, उनको information मिलती है. People get paid for information. तो जैसे our people, some of them who might be helping the terrorists for money, there are some who are helping us also to tell us about the terrorists. So information is available.
So why do these kind of people surrender? एक ये भी question आता है फिर in that case if they are getting money also from
when you realize that there is not much life left, every terrorist has a life.
Lifespan is there.
So maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year.
And they can
Now,
also shoot their person जब काम खत्म.
नहीं वो नहीं. But
करेंगे?
Indian Army will shoot them.
Okay.
So like Burhan Wani was the poster boy.
He was.
He also was shot. And then the guy who took over from him also got shot. And so there is a shelf life है इनका. And when you realize and your family is telling you, and you're understanding that the situation is not what you were told before you went to Pakistan. When you went to Pakistan and saw the training, और आपको पता चला, मैंने इससे बड़ी लंबी बात की थी रसूल से, तो वो उसका जो परसेप्शन था वो पूरा चेंज हो गया जब वो पाकिस्तान गया था, because they were treated very badly. The Indian guys who'd gone, treated badly, trained, and sent back. So that was the first step, that you were treated badly. They were not feeling the way they were made to feel, that हम जिहाद कर रहे हैं, हम अपनी इंडिपेंडेंस के लिए लड़ रहे हैं. यहाँ के उसने देखा that जो भी ये एक्शंस कर रहे हैं उसमें लोकल्स भी मर रहे हैं. Their families are also worried that इसकी शेल्फ लाइफ है, ये मर जाएगा, उसकी वाइफ है, उसके बच्चे हैं, ये मर जाएगा. कईयों के नहीं होते मगर मदर पे फादर होते हैं, सिस्टर्स ब्रदर्स होते हैं. So that is another pressure on them. And then you also realize how futile your entire what you have been made to believe. Like we were discussing some time back about being misguided.
Right.
You understand that you're misguided. And now for being misguided, your actions, you might lose your life. So all these pressures together then, and the government gives you an option. कि आप surrender कर दो तो we will
take care of you.
Take care of you. So those were the kind of reasons.
So is it true like government take care of them? अगर एक बार कोई आ गया and he is telling
take care मतलब
their family
एक तो
also,
आपने जितने पाप किए हैं उनको हमने
waive off मिल गया,
waive off कर दिया. And then he is helping the army, so he's getting some money for that. And he's back with his family. So all this is good.
He is in protection.
Yeah. So he is now back to normal routine. Yeah.
So if I talk about, so how many wars have you seen in your lifespan of army?
Well, since I've been born, there have been many wars, but since I joined the army, there has only been Kargil.
Yeah. So you were a part of Kargil?
Yeah, I was a part of Kargil, but not where the attacks were going on, because Kargil attacks were done by a very small number of people. It was only about one division, a division and a half worth. So that's about 20,000 people. Okay. The Indian army is 1.3 million. So the rest of the army, like where I was posted that time in Allahabad. Okay. And we were moved from Allahabad to Jammu, Pathankot, and along with an armored brigade out there, we were training to carry out an attack into Akhnur, through that area, into Pakistan, from Akhnur into Pakistan. So, but as you're aware, the ceasefire was called in because, the Americans intervened again and all that story.
Interventions were there.
Yeah. And so the war never went beyond just Kargil. And Kargil was within India, and these people had occupied it, and our job was to get a territory back. So nothing went across the line of control or across the international border.
Okay, when we talk about ceasefire, sir, अगर in case पाकिस्तान ने कोई पार्ट हमारा ऑक्यूपाई कर लिया है इंडिया का, ceasefire होगा तो वहाँ पे वो वापस करेंगे वो उस पार्ट को, या it will stop then and there, whatever the position they have occupied?
ये डिपेंड करता है आपके नेगोशिएशन क्या होते हैं सीजफायर के टाइम पे.
Okay.
अभी आपको 1971 की मैं बात बताता हूँ, जब when we split Pakistan, Bangladesh became independent. There were parts of Pakistan in our capture, and we had 93,000 prisoners of war. 93,000 is a lot of people.
Cool.
And then when we had the Shimla agreement and the agreement for post-ceasefire, we returned the prisoners, but we never took our territory back. We could have said, give Pak-occupied Kashmir to us. But they didn't ask for it. And when you don't ask for it, you don't get it.
True.
So all this, there is no lay down that आपको वापस मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा. आप जितना दूसरे को आप ट्विस्ट कर सकते हो, आप जितना उसमें से आप निकाल सकते हो by virtue of the handles that you have on them at that moment, वो आपको मिलेगा.
करना चाहिए.
हाँ, so it's all negotiation.
Use their power at that time.
Negotiation from a position of power.
Yeah. True. So when you capture these terrorists, तो बेसिकली उनका माइंडसेट कितना ब्रेन वॉश वो हो चुके होते हैं फॉर दिस, क्योंकि उनको तो शायद मेरे ख्याल से जहाँ तक हमको पता है कि 72 हूरों का वो सपना दिखाया जाता है ना, ऑन दैट जिहाद करोगे तो यू विल अचीव द हेवेंस.
So very few terrorists are caught alive. Okay. Very few. Like Kasab was one. And otherwise, so I have not come across any terrorist who was a terrorist and caught alive.
Okay.
I was talking of this man who had surrendered.
Right.
And I actually never asked him this question, that Battar Uro wali kahani. But as far as I know, the philosophy given to them is that life starts after death.
Okay.
And so here you are only preparing for the life which is going to start. And therefore, your life is not important.
Again, I'll ask this question, sir. Are they that much fooled that they believe it?
So it depends on how your mind has been conditioned from the time you were born. If you've gone to a madrasa, where you've been told all through about this concept and that jihad is what you're required to do. So it's a conditioning of the person.
It's kind of,
And yes, I have seen people who have been conditioned like that. And others may not be, like I said, doing it for a cause. They could be doing it for the money. So everybody is not in that conditioning. There would be surely some people who are in this conditioning, but not everybody.
so rightly, when like you said कि आर्मी जब कश्मीर में आपके टाइम में थी तो वहाँ पे टेररिज्म का ये अगर मैं बोलूँ तो वो अगर सही वर्ड्स दूंगी तो एक फियर था कि कभी भी कोई आके उठा के ले जाएगा हमें. सेम वेज कश्मीरीज ये आर्मी के लिए, इंडियन आर्मी के लिए भी बोलते हैं कई बार.
हाँ, तो उनसे जब बात करो ना तो इंडियन आर्मी तो उनसे पूछती है आप बताओ टेररिस्ट कहाँ पे हैं, आप टेररिस्ट को मत हेल्प करो. And they don't give us information. And terrorists, they help. So the difference is that if they don't help the terrorists will kill them.
Okay.
And if they don't help the Indian army will not kill them.
True.
At best, they will harass them. So it is a difference. Your choices get harassed or get killed. So the choice is obvious. They may not be wanting to help the terrorist, but unka choice ही नहीं है.
So that is why they defame.
No, so defaming means even if I come to your house once, you can make a noise and say, मेरे को तो आर्मी harass कर रही है. That harassment which people are saying may be motivated by the forces around them to say, आप बोलो कि हमको फौज तंग करती है, आप जाके पत्थर मारो, आपको मैं 500 रुपए देंगे, आज सारा दिन तुमने पत्थर ही चलाने हैं. एंड पत्थर चलाने हैं, नॉट सेइंग कि 500 रुपए मिले, पत्थर चलाने हैं कि इंडियन आर्मी हमको हैरेस करती है. वी डोंट वांट द आर्मी, दे आर ऑक्यूपेशनल फोर्स, यू नो, they are impinging on our liberties. So what is portrayed for the media is different from what the real reason why people are doing it. That's how it is.
So have you seen these kind of revolts during your time?
Yes, it's common everywhere, every day. We used to carry out an operation called Cordon and Search, for example, जहाँ पे आपको कोई information मिली कि इस गांव में कुछ militants आए हुए हैं, ठीक है? So आप क्या करते थे? सुबह उठ के 3 बजे निकलो and उस गांव को surround करते थे. तो cordons are laid down, आगे एक बाहर का एक अंदर. Then all the villagers are woken up on announcement and told to come and sit down in a field.
Okay.
And then from house to house, people would go searching, expecting that there might be any house you open, you might get shot at. So obviously it is a drill which is done very cautiously. So it's called cordon and then search. Aim to find militants. Now when you're doing that, and the villagers in whose house they might be, and who may be either supporting them out of their will or supporting them because they have no choice, you can see from their faces when they're getting uneasy, when you're getting close to the houses. Okay? And the number of times the women will pick up the plates and start throwing them, no, हमको वापस जाना है, ये करना है, वो करना है. They would come in the way because, you know, that women's card which you can play,
easy card.
Yeah, so you can delay or you can give them opportunity to escape, that kind of thing. So these kind of things happen all the while. Yeah.
So all together जो हम बात कर रहे थे local support की, वो local support हमेशा रहता है उनके पास.
हाँ, support होता है, उसके बिना टेररिस्ट काम कर ही नहीं सकते. किसी भी टाइप के टेररिस्ट किसी भी देश में हो, जब तक उनको लोकल सपोर्ट नहीं मिलती, खाना, पानी, घर एंड सीक्रेसी, उनकी मूवमेंट्स, नहीं तो आप जैसे मूव करोगे लोग बोलते हैं वहां जा रहे हैं, they'll inform you. So there has to be support, only then they can survive. Otherwise it's not possible.
So there was a question जो अभी पहलगाम अटैक हुआ, लोगों ने बोला जब टेररिस्ट एस्केप किए, lot of like information we received through YouTube, social media and others, कि वो जो एरिया है जंगल का, that is very heavy jungle. वहाँ पे किसी को पकड़ना, मतलब लाइक पकड़ सकते हैं for sure, but that becomes next to impossible किस रूट से वो एस्केप करके जा रहा है. Is that true?
True.
So why are we not doing something कि हम उसको वहाँ पे कुछ ऐसी चीजें कर दें, प्रिपेयर कर लें अपने आप को कि उनको या लाइंस बना दें या कुछ भी बैरियर्स लगा दें जिसको वो एस्केप ना कर पाए.
हमने तो पूरे अपने कंट्री के जो लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल है उसके ऊपर फेंस लगा रखी है, उसमें लाइटें भी लगी हैं, उसमें बिजली भी है. बट अ फेंस, टू क्रॉस द फेंस टेक्स 3 minutes. Okay, you can come from underneath, you can come from over it, or you can cut it. So एंड द एरिया इज सच, इतना लंबा है, इतना घना है, इतना ब्रोकन है, जहां पे नाले चलते हैं वहां पे फेंस नहीं लगा सकते क्योंकि वो पानी में बह जाती है. सो नथिंग इज फुल प्रूफ.
Nothing is good.
And therefore, whilst you can put fences, and they have been put, and there are mines laid down, but yet
They managed to.
they will come. Yeah, and that is not the only way to come. All our other borders are also there. नेपाल के साथ तो हमारा सबसे पोरस बॉर्डर है. आपको पासपोर्ट भी नहीं चाहिए, तो ऐसे आ जाओ इंडिया के अंदर. So lot of arms come from there also. Lot of people also enter from there. Some people may come by regular passports. And then get into the things. Drones are bringing ammunition across now. Arms are coming by drones. So there are n number of ways. You can't stop it. Tunnels are made. आपने देखा होगा पंजाब में टनल पकड़ी उन्होंने. पाकिस्तान से फेंस के नीचे आते हुए टनल ओपनिंग इन इंडिया. कितने लोग उसमें से आ गए, कितने नहीं है, हमें पता नहीं ना. वो तो बात की बात है. When it is discovered, you came to know about it. So this things will keep happening.
So talking about the Uri attack which took place, वो बहुत हमारे लिए टेरिफाइंग था कि ये इंडियन आर्मी के साथ ऐसा हो गया.
इंडियन आर्मी के साथ ही होता है. Terrorists are not attacking civilians. This is the first time they attacked. Otherwise, terrorists attack the army. Because they don't want. The moment they attack civilians, it affects the tourism, which affects the local population, which is the population which is supporting them.
Right.
So they don't ever do that. They attack the army, CRPF, BSF, those people. This time they did it for, like I said, for a message to say everything is not normal. यहाँ tourism नहीं हो सकता, कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है.
And that is why they took the cart of Hinduism कि Hindus को choose करके मारा.
And so it is believed that it was thanks to General Munir's speech. If you heard his speech, where he said it's a two-nation theory, Hindus and Muslims cannot live side by side. तो उसी को, if you take it further, they are one of the theories. How true it is that I can't say. That it is a result of that, and it was planned by them to send a message about bringing about this divide amongst Hindus and Muslims in India. And they managed to succeed in some places. Jahan pe, there were tensions between Hindu and Muslim.
Right. So, as I have talked about Uri, sir, Uri took place. We fought back also, and that too. उस टाइम पीरियड में और पुराने, अगर हम बात करें गवर्नमेंट्स की, हमें सबसे ज़्यादा फ्री हैंड कौन सी गवर्नमेंट में मिला है?
See, when you say free hand, obviously now everybody has talked enough about it to say that the BJP government has been more proactive in giving you support to go across. Free hand, I will not say. It is the will. आपकी गवर्नमेंट, आर्मी तो सेम है, आर्मी की प्रेपरेशन सेम है, कैपेबिलिटी सेम है. अगर मैं आर्मी का बॉस हूं एज अ पॉलिटिकल मैन एंड आई टेल द आर्मी, अच्छा ये हमारा अटैक हुआ है, रिलैक्स, डोंट डू एनीथिंग राइट नाउ. So army can't go on their own and start killing. So the free hand is to do with political will कि आप क्या message देना चाहते हो. And obviously it is quite evident that even after 26/11 जो बॉम्बे में हुआ था, no action was taken.
Taken, true.
And then came Uri, and then came Balakot, and now came Pahalgam. So you can, it's quite evident that the BJP government is giving has a mindset to give a message to Pakistan and then asking the armed forces to take action.
And is it true, sir, कि हमने किसी भी civilian areas को हमने target नहीं किया था, जो भी targeted areas थे हमारे through army, that was only the places where these people were there?
See, my information is source is same as yours, which is the TV news, okay,
true.
Or articles. And from the news and from the articles and the briefings given, they said that the first night they targeted only those places which were known training camps of the militants. Now, if there is a training camp in a populated area, then there is good chance that any civilian in that area will also might get collateral damages there. People might be injured, some might even die. Okay. I cannot comment on how many actual injuries, कितने terrorists मरे या कितने civilians मरे, but yes, the official line is all 9 places hit were terrorist training camps.
And they were like terrorists were killed.
They were well known because these are not as of last evening. They were there for many years.
Yes, they were staying there.
Yes. It was well documented that these are the training camps.
And we have suddenly targeted them without.
We have targeted them not suddenly. We always wanted to target them. We never had the guts to do it because of the political part. The missiles were always there. बटन ही दबाना था ना. अब कोई बोलेगा कि दबा दो तो दबा दिया. So इतना ही फर्क था. So that is where the political will comes.
Okay, now if you're talking about political, sir, जब हमने अभी बात करी 26/11 की, no action was taken, we surrendered to maybe political reasons से, वो कितना demotivate करता है being into army and being an army personnel?
Well, it does because you feel helpless. Okay, you keep wondering कि हम इतने सालों से ट्रेनिंग कर रहे हैं, इतनी हम पैसे खर्च के हथियार खरीदते हैं, हमारी कैपेबिलिटी इतनी है, एंड फिर हम एक्शन में नहीं लाते. इट्स लाइक यू हैव एवरीथिंग रेडी बट you don't have the opportunity to use it.
True.
Yeah. So obviously it is demoralizing.
It is demoralizing.
Yeah, of course. You feel suddenly helpless and redundant. That हमारा रोल क्या है? हमें रखा किस लिए? It's not only for external enemy आएगा, but even internal problems. So the primary role of the defense services is external, but secondary role is internal issues. And 26/11 was an external issue done internally. Yeah.
Right.
So it is demoralizing.
Okay. So अभी जैसे हमने बात करी सर, बहुत सारे लोगों से हमें सुनने को मिलता है as in you said the sources TV and all those things. So what we see कि Indian Army जो है वो हमेशा that is always prepared for a war. Is it true?
That's a job.
That's a job.
It's like anybody जो भी उनका profession है, they have to be prepared for it.
So they're always prepared, they're ready.
Yeah. So we are ready at all times. That is what you're paid for.
And where do you see कि हमें और कोई armies other countries की उनसे कुछ learn करना चाहिए? तो what do you see? Which country do you see कि we should learn from them?
I don't think you can say any single country. I believe you are always learning something from everybody. The good practices of other armies, other countries must be picked up whenever you see them. But I cannot tell you that no, this is one country. इससे हम सीखते हैं. I'm sure we teach a lot of things to other countries and we learn from them also the moment you know about their the ways
so
of
if my information is correct, we stand on number 5th or 4th as an Indian Army.
That's in terms of size.
Science.
Yeah. These figures which you talk of is to do with the numbers. Number of people, number of aircraft, number of tanks, number of weapons.
Okay.
ऐसे करके. But if I was to point out to you Ukraine versus Russia, now it has been almost 3 years.
Right.
And everyone thought एक हफ्ते में Russia will just eat up Ukraine. And as of 2 days back, they've destroyed 40 of the aircraft on the ground. So you can't talk of. So everything in war is not to do with size. It's to do with training. It's to do with generalship. It's to do with motivation. It's to do with good tactics and strategy and planning and opportunity. All that comes into play, which cannot be put on a scale. Some days you find your morale is very high. Even a lesser force will beat a bigger force. And if the morale is low, a bigger force will get beaten by a smaller force. So, and these are cannot be measured. These are untangible things.
So do we have any example of the forces as you mentioned?
I'm telling you about here, Ukraine, Russia in front of you.
Right.
इतनी सी country है, and उन्होंने भूत बना के रखा हुआ है रशिया का. So you can imagine the differences in manpower, size, weapons, equipment, everything, resources, but yet they are holding on.
सर जैसे हम वी बीइंग इंडियंस अगर बात करूँ, हम हमेशा यू मस्ट हैव सीन चंडीगढ़ का वो कि सारे लोग तैयार थे, वी आर रेडी टू सर्व इंडियन आर्मी ऐसे करके व्हेन दिस ऑपरेशन सिंदूर टुक प्लेस. सो अगर हम बात करें व्हाई देयर इज अ सर्टेन एज इफ समबडी वांट्स टू एंटर द आर्मी इवन इन द एज ऑफ 30s, व्हाई आर दे नॉट अलाउड? आप फिजिकल फिटनेस की खाली बात करते हैं, क्या समबडी एज वी टॉक्ड अबाउट मेंटल फिटनेस होनी चाहिए?
नहीं,
वी आर रेडी फॉर दैट.
I will ask you a counter question.
Okay.
Why is it that you don't do your class 10 when you're 40 years old?
That's also correct, sir.
So there is always a process to join a particular organization. And in the army, there's a process that either you come from NDA, you come from OTA, IMA, all that, we know the story. If there is a war and we are in such a condition that we don't have manpower left, then you will start picking up from the civil. And you will train them for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. Then you will pick up what you're saying. 30-year-old भी आ रहा है, 40 भी आ रहा है, 50 भी आ रहा है, 70 भी आ रहा है, because you're fighting with your back to the wall. Right. But अभी वो situation नहीं है हमारी.
So we can make them ready. This is what I believe as a person.
It takes resources.
It takes resources.
To make a person ready, we don't want a person out there going and creating chaos. We want a person who can be part of a machinery where all people are working in sync with each other. और बीच में आपने एक डाल दिया पत्थर, तो वो मशीन को तोड़ेगा ही,
Right.
है ना? So to put him there, you have to first equip him, and you also don't want to send people there to die.
Right.
You want to send them to go and kill the enemy, for which he must be capable. So he must be trained, he must be educated in that kind of warfare, and then practiced also. नहीं तो you'll be doing injustice to that person. Yeah.
सर जैसे कि बहुत ज़्यादा हम सुनते हैं और हम जानते भी हैं कि आर्मी जितने भी आर्मी ऑफिशियल्स हैं उनके लिए फर्स्ट नेशन कम्स फर्स्ट. सो ये इंस्टॉलेशन कब होता है?
Nation comes first तो आपका भी है.
राइट.
You're not in the army.
बट फिर भी सर लाइक नेशन कम्स फर्स्ट फॉर श्योर. कभी कभार हम वी आर स्कैर्ड फॉर आवर ओन फैमिलीज आल्सो.
No, family is always there at the back of the mind of every human being. In the army also, everybody knows that they have a family, and nobody wants their family to get injured.
Right.
Okay, but you are trained to understand that yes, your family is safe. Your family is not where the war is. Your family is somewhere behind, living with other families. Okay, once your back is secured, then you know that you can focus in
On your
front.
work, right.
Yeah. But if I find that मैं आगे लड़ाई में लड़ रहा हूँ और मेरी फैमिली वहाँ अनसेफ है, वहाँ पे भी वहाँ वो लोग मेरा घर ही लूट रहे हैं आके, तो then it will not work. Then I will want to go back there. Why should I be here? So that is the point. And therefore, in the army, we make sure that our backs are always secure, which backs here I mean is our families. And near and dear ones. So they are kept in places where they are secured, they are looked after, they are guarded when the war is on.
Okay. I have been through your Facebook page, so I've been seeing all the other pages also. You write poetries as well?
No, that was not my poetry.
Okay.
I narrated that poetry.
You narrated that poetry?
Yeah, I wish I could write poetry. I've never got down to it. But I like to recite poetry.
Well, because I have been through that poetry, I thought you have written the poetry.
No,
So
I wish I had.
So, talking about your experience, because you have been posted to Angola and Africa also, what was that?
I had gone to Angola as a United Nations military observer. And what happens is, like a country like Angola, they had been at civil war ever since they got independence from the Portuguese in 1975. Okay. And the civil war, there are two factions. One is supported by the government and one are the rebels. And in Angola, these factions started getting supported by the US and the USSR, who were giving them arms and ammunition. And the whole story was because of the mineral resources of Angola, which is the second richest country in Africa after South Africa. They have lots of petroleum, they have diamonds, they have other mineral resources. So both these big nations were after those diamonds and those resources. And then a ceasefire was brokered amongst them. And when a ceasefire is brokered, then the United Nations comes in. And I was a military observer to ensure that the peace is maintained. So our job, we are unarmed. And our job is to go and check that if there is a violation, if they have firing going on, then to check up who was at fault, why did the firing take place, and what was the outcome, and then make a report. That was the kind of thing that we were doing.
So, like talking about, as you said, you were a military observer out there. So, basic work आपका सिर्फ observation का होता था वहाँ पे.
Correct.
So, are there any other people from the other nations also?
So, there were observers from 35 countries.
35 countries.
Yeah. And then we had 6 infantry battalions from different countries.
Okay.
There was one Indian battalion, one from Zimbabwe, one was Brazil, one was Uruguay, and so on and so forth. So 6 battalions were there. And these battalions are essentially used to, if force is required, if the situation between these warring factions becomes bad, and now the United Nations need to enforce peace, then you will use these battalions like that.
Okay, that is.
Otherwise, they're not used.
Coming to my questions regarding media, Indian media. अभी 26/11 के हमने जो अटैक्स देखे थे उसमें हमें राइट टाइम इन्फॉर्मेशन मिल रही थी. अभी जो ऑपरेशन सिंदूर टुक प्लेस, वी हैव डिफर्ड इमेजेस जिसको लोगों ने बोला. सो कई जगह तो न्यूज़ में ये तक बोल दिया गया कि यार इंडियन आर्मी एंटर्ड कराची ऑल्सो and all those things were said. How do you see Indian media's role, or जैसे टेररिज्म में कहाँ टेररिस्ट छुपते हैं, ये एरियाज है, बंकर्स हैं, या यहाँ पे ये लाइक मीन स्टेयर केस है, उसके अंदर वो छिप सकते हैं, और जहाँ पे उनका खाना बनता है, आग जलती है, वहाँ धुएं के ऊपर वाली पोर्शन में भी वो अंदर जाके छिप जाते हैं. इतना डिटेल क्यों दिखाना है मीडिया को?
See, it is a matter of looking at are they doing damage or are they just giving you information even if it is not true information. Now the damage part was what was done in 2611 when the NSG commandos were slithering down from the helicopters. They were showing it live in real time, and people in Pakistan who were in touch with the guys inside here could see it and tell them that those guys are coming down, and those guys managed to take action against them. Thereafter, then this diktat was given that give it delayed so that you don't affect the military operation.
True.
So that part is one. Now when you say telling you wrong things like Karachi mein Indian army घुस गई है या हमने ये कर दिया, these are things where you need to hold media accountable. उसमें हिंदुस्तान की फौज को कोई नुकसान नहीं है, ना ऑपरेशन को नुकसान है. इट इज जस्ट दैट आई वॉचिंग थी, वाओ कराची पहुंच गया, देन अगले दिन पता चला नहीं ये तो ऐसे फेंकता है. इंडियन सम पाकि पायलट हैज बीन कॉट बाय आवर फोर्सेस, nothing happened. Indian pilot, woman pilot caught by Pakistanis. So these are things which are misinformation, which sometimes are happening not intentionally. कहीं से कोई खबर निकली है कि किसी ने लूजली बोल दिया कि one plane has been shot down and the pilot is captured. Now the guy on ground who is listening, who's at the media guy there or something, he's overreacted. Instead of fact checking it, उसने सीधा बता दिया. And before it can be fact checked, it's all over on the news. And then suddenly realize ये तो गलत है. So I don't know if this can be resolved because this happens everywhere.
We cannot stop this.
Yeah, it is not a deliberate misinformation. It is an error. Sometimes maybe intentional to build up TRP, and sometimes it could be just an error. Okay. So, but I feel that accountability needs to be put in if it is possible. I don't know how possible it is because I'm not a media person. I'm only a consumer of media like you. If it is possible for the government to have some regulation to say that you don't put up anything unless you verify it.
Right.
Maybe this would reduce.
This would help. So, unlike जिसे हमने बात करी मीडिया के बारे में, Indian media was mocked all over the world. So, like अभी आर्मी इतने bravely they are fighting the war and everything, and suddenly media एक ऐसा रोल प्ले कर देता है जो कि demean कर देता है हमारी पूरी image को.
See, mocking media, in my opinion, does not mean they are demeaning them. They might be even jealous.
Okay.
But I also agree that some of our media went overboard, and that is not the media. Those are the discussions happening out there. 7-8 people are sitting there and they're analyzing and they're giving their own operational thought and all, in which there are army guys also, and there are bureaucrats and there are civil from the foreign service. It is all a way to get TRP. Arnab Goswami has 8 people sitting there, or some other news channel. It is their style. You don't like it, don't watch it. Okay. True. But when you say the foreign media is mocking, I think that was only one incident where this lady was talking again to say that, you guys were being very jingoistic, and you were, that's on a program with Arnab Goswami only, right. And telling him that you were jingoistic and, your media went overboard and stuff like that. I don't know if every country has a certain consumption of news. और हमारे कंट्री में आई फील पीपल एंजॉय दिस, जो ये क्योस चलता है तभी तो शो करते हैं वो. हम देख भी रहे हैं, फिर उसको हम क्रिटिसाइज भी करते हैं, एंड येट वी वॉच इट नेक्स्ट डे ऑल्सो. ठीक है ना, सेम चैनल को. तो ये इट इज आई थिंक इट इज ऑल, एवरीबडी इज इन अ सिचुएशन वेयर each one is helping the other and enjoying it also. And somebody from outside can of course pass judgment to say, we can talk about foreign media and say that ये कुछ दिखाते ही नहीं है, ये तो बड़े insipid से हैं, very clinical kind of reporting. So I would not worry too much about what the world says. But yes, we should be sure which channel we want to watch. आपके पास बड़ी वो ऐसी channels भी हैं who are very to the point, and the others who are.
Correct, sir. So before I conclude this session, I have 2 questions, sir. पहला तो ये कि जब war situation होती है, हमारा जो emotion होता है वो कहता है war करो और ख़त्म करो. right? But then we see people in Jammu and Kashmir जिनकी छत टूटी है, they're middle class people. उस lady का ये statement आया था कि war तो हो रही है, we also want कि एक बार में खत्म हो, but again sufferers हम हैं, हमारे लिए छत बनाना वापस बड़ा मुश्किल है, and it takes money also and everything, so resources also. So how do you perceive this situation? एक तरफ मिडिल क्लास का आदमी है जहाँ वो भी सफर कर रहा है, and हमारा इमोशन कहता है कि वॉर करके खत्म करो.
So, as an army man, I would say we are the last people who would want war.
Okay.
An army is not to fight a war. An army is to prevent a war. You have a strong army, well-trained, capable army, nobody fights with you. You don't have a strong and capable army, people will take panga with you because they know they can get away with it. As an army man, I would say we'll be the happiest if there is no war, because who gets the damage, the maximum in the war is the army.
True.
Army people, defense services people. Next are civilians and others who get caught in, in the collateral damage. So I don't think war is good. But it is a last resort. When diplomacy fails, when everything else fails, only then war comes. And after war, there is no other solution.
Right.
So the moment you can send your message, like people keep saying, ceasefire kyun kar diya?
There are a lot of questions.
Yeah, you had not gone there to finish each other off. You went there to send a message. आपने message भेजा. Unfortunately, Pakistan retaliated. You also retaliated. They retaliated. You retaliated. Ceasefire happened. I think it's good. Message has gone. नहीं ceasefire होता तो और लोग मरते. और कब तक चलता ये?
Because my second question was this only. What was the message that we gave to the world after Operation Sindoor?
Our message was to Pakistan.
Only Pakistan, not to the world?
Message was to Pakistan. World also listens. Okay. So message to Pakistan was that you mess with us. You carry out terrorism in India. We will hit you. And not only in Pak-occupied Kashmir, we will hit you in your heartland, which we did this time, across the international border in the Punjabi heartland. Right. Okay. For the first time. Till now, all strikes, whether it's Uri or it's Balakot and all that, all were done in disputed area. But this was somewhere where the Punjab military, the Pakistani military is all dominated by Punjabis. This was their heartland.
So जैसे last question of mine would be कि हम बात करते हैं war के बारे में. अभी जब उरी की बात हुई थी, जब we did a Balakot strike and all those things, हमारे पास बहुत सारे sources नहीं थे information देने के लिए with respect to media दिखाने के लिए coverage and all that. इस बार हमने सारे coverage दिए हैं. So don't you think as an army man, why should we show? हमने अपना काम कर दिया है. Why there is a need to show the proof?
So the one is that आपने अपना काम कर दिया. Second is that you have to send that message in a convincing manner. Otherwise, if you see now ceasefire took place.
Right.
India says हम जीत गए, पाकिस्तान कहते हैं हम जीत गए. उन्होंने अपने field marshal बना दिया. There is both sides are doing their own media management and PR exercises. Right. Okay. But like they say, a picture speaks is better than 1,000 words, When you show that this is Noor Khan Air Base before and after, and यहाँ पे ये crater, यहाँ ये crater, you are convinced, no?
Right.
Then there is no doubt in your mind that what they are saying is authenticated by a picture. And that picture is coming through the loitering, satellites and loitering ammunition that we had. That is why they're being shown. And the Indian Army has shown it. So you would have found that Operation Sindoor briefings were preceded by always an image.
Right.
Initially, they showed the terrorist attack, then they showed the other destruction happening and all that. Just to make it more convincing, because audio is one, but audio visual is better.
Better.
And if you show nothing, then it's just perception after that.
Right.
So it's only to manage perception better.
But earlier days में ये नहीं होता था कि हमें like second political parties जो होती हैं उनको proof देने का. And how do you see?
Political party को proof नहीं दे रहे हम proof दे रहे हैं international community को, अपनी entire India की जो population उनको, which of course political parties represent. Yeah. So it is to tell your own nation that listen, this is what the Indian Army has done.
So now, like we have seen the other political parties other than BJP are also sending their delegates to various countries to represent India and their message. How do you see that as now? Because इससे पहले शायद ऐसा हुआ नहीं है कि
so they have not sent them. the Modi government has made these committees, 7 of them, in which they have taken people from every party.
Party.
Unfortunately, some parties refuse to send people, but the ones who have gone, obviously, they are not representing a party, they're representing India.
True.
And they are putting across to the world the justification, the reason for, and the outcome of what happened in Sindoor. Why did it happen? What did India do? And they would be showing them photographs, they would be showing them these images to convince them of the outcome and also convince them of the just cause why India went and hit them. Okay? Because it is important that your cause is recognized as just. If it is not recognized as just, then you are just somebody acting tough and a bully. But when you say no, we retaliated because they did Pahalgam, and we only clinically looked at terrorist locations. So that is the reason.
So thank you so much for giving us time today and taking, like, it was pleasure talking to you, and a lot of things we came across which I believe बहुत सारे लोगों को नहीं पता होगा.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here, and I enjoyed this.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
ASKofficials.com